In this new session, let us see how our sages, rishis, and great Mahans have defined and designed a system which will protect the Vedas from unintended changes. In Krishna Yajurveda, there are 5 types of studies. First is to study the Samhita Vakyam as it is. When I say Samhita, it includes Brahmanam and Aranyam also. To give a text and recite it as it is called the Vakya Padam. The Vakyam has been split into the lowest possible or a logical split of words that is called a Padam. If you see Rudram, it starts as Namaste. It consists of the Padams Namaha and Te. When the Visargam before Tavargam becomes is. Therefore, it is Namaste. So, the Padapadam has been designed in such a way it cannot be altered. So, I was talking to Ganapati Mama and asked him, we were going through the Padapadam Mama. There is a Padam Suvargam. Suvargam is what we normally call a Surgam. Na? So, why it is given as Suvargam idi Suvaha Gam? It need not be split. He laughed and said, okay, let me split it for you. What is the Padam? Suvargam. Suvargam idi Suvargam. Oh my goodness. What is Suvargam, which means the heaven? If wrongly split as Su and Vargam, it will means good class or a classification or a kind. So, the Mahans who have designed this Padam have seen to it that the Padam has to be not wrongly interpreted. The constituent meaning given by the Padam or conveyed by the Padam is maintained. The Padapadam cannot be changed. So, it has to be recited as wherever the Padams are split into 2 parts, it has to be taken with the split as it is given in the Padapadam. So, we come to know first is a Vakyam, then we have broken it into a lowest part of a Padam. Then comes a Krama Padam. The Krama Padam is, Krama means order. So, we recite the Padams in the proper order, taking 2 at a time. We will say, for example, Namaha and Te is the Padam that we saw for Namaste in Rudram. Right? Namaste Rudra Manyava Utota Ishave Namaha. So, the Kramam will come like 2 Padams together. So, Namaste, because Namaha and Te are combined and rendered together. Then they will render Te Rudra, Rudra Manyave, Manyava Uto. So, we are going in the order of 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4 like that. When a Padam has a split or a special reference like it is not subject to Sandhi, it will be recited separately. For example, Uto is what is called a Paragraham or a Pragrihya, which will not combine due to Sandhi. So they will say Uto Ityuto. If you have learnt Rudrakrama, you know then we say Uto Iti. Iti is added and Uto comes. Uto Ityuto. That's how we split the word. Suppose you take the Ganapati mantra, Gananaham Tva Ganapatim Ganapatigum Havamahe. We don't say Havamahe Kavim. The Padam Ganapatim consists of Gana and Patim. Therefore, after saying Ganapatigum Havamahe, before we take the Padam Kavim, we say Ganapatimidi Gana Patim. So, Padapadam also gives Gananaham Tva Ganapatimidi Gana Patim. So, what is there in the Padapadam? A Padam has got a very special characteristic. It is split and repeated. This is Kramapadam. We will see all the details in future lectures. Now comes a little more interesting study or a Padam which is called Jata Padam. Jata normally means the tress that is made that is the tress which of the hair which ladies make, which is nothing but actually 2 strands of hair going around the center one. So the 2 strands go back and forth. So it's called Jatapata. The Jatapata, you take 2 Padams together, 1, 2, then recite it as 1, 2, 2112. So if you want to say start for the Ganapati mantra at Jadapata, it will say the padam is Gananaham Twa. So it will be said as Gananaham Twa Twa Gananaham Gananaham Twa. So you have repeated the 6 padams, that is 1, 2, 2, 1 and 1, 2. This is a bit difficult. What happens is there is a reverse order that comes in. Normally, if you are able to say something, oh, that guy will even say it backwards. He is so thorough. That's how we normally talk about a person with a good memory and mental capabilities. Therefore, there are many rules that govern how the padams have to be taken in the reverse order. So this is one kind of training. Next, we go to the last part, the last type of study. It is called Ganapatam. The Ganapatam, in Ganapatam, you take 3 padams at a time and recite it in the order of 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1 and 1, 2, 3. So there will be normally be 13 padams taken in a Ganavakyam. Now, Samhita Padam has got all the order of words in the forward motion. Padapadam the same way. In Kramapadam, it is considered to be in the natural flow, though we break it up for the padam like Ganapatimiti Ganapatim before taking up the next set of padams. These are all taken as, the first 3 are taken as Prakriti Padam. The Jada and Gana Padam are called Vikriti Padam because it has got an unnatural or a man-made order which enables the memorization. But it is not just the memorization, it is the way to protect the Vedas. Suppose you take Samhita Vakyam and say Namaste Rudra. In Padapadam they will say Namaha Te Rudra. In Kramapadam it becomes Namaste Te Rudra. So the ending of each type of study, as we take the padams, will match with proper Sandhi rules with the Vakyam. So if you take Jadapadam, you will say Namaste Te Namo Namaste. So while the ending Namaste matches with the Samhita Padam for the first 2 padams. Now if you take Ganapatam, you say Namaste Te Namo Namaste Rudra Rudra Te Namo Namaste Rudra. So you are repeating. Finally, what you end with Namaste Rudra. This matches with the 3 padams of the Samhita Padam. So to break and use a different Vikruti formula, if you recite any of these 5 types of studies in Krishna Yajurveda, finally you will end up deriving the correct Samhita so that Samhita is not altered. There is no Padapadam for Brahmanam and Aranyam in Krishna Yajurveda. Some of the Pandits call these 2 as a Shaka, a branch, because Samhita is main and these 2 are the branches. Next, there is a special type of study which is additionally done. It's called Varnakrama. Varna is nothing but specific sound. So, one takes the Padapada, takes each letter and describe its constituent part, how the sound comes, what is the classification of sound and all these. We are not so familiar with Varnakrama, but to understand Varnakrama, go to YouTube and search for Varnakrama. There are 3 young Vedic students who perform the Varnakramam of the mantra Sajosha Indra Sagano Marudbhi Somam Biba Vitra Hanjura Vitwan. Of this they take the first part, Sajosha Indra, and they repeat it. It takes quite a long time. Varnakrama is reasonably difficult, for which they have to do the Varna Siksha and apply for each sound, what class it belongs to and all. A student who studies Varnakrama gets so thorough with the constituent sound and how it has to be applied of each and every letter. So Krishna Yajurveda has 5 types of studies. But if you look at the Vedic text, there are other type of studies. I hope most of them are applicable in Rig Veda. There is a Mala Padam, Shika Padam, Danda Padam, Dvaja Padam, Ratha Padam, Rekha Padam. So there are about 6 more. Therefore, there are 11 types of studies that would come in. And each of these Padam has their own distinct combination of taking a certain number of padams and repeat it in a particular order as defined for that specific study. Again, you can look for types of studies and search it on the Google. There are articles and blogs on the various types of this pada. Since we are Krishna Yajurvedis, we have not heard much on these type of pada. So today in IT, people talk about blockchain concept. You break up something, store something separately with a distinct code, pick them up together and find out what is the real thing. This is done for 2 things. For security, or you want to hide something, like the way the black internet works. So whatever rishis have done is taken the Padapada, taken the Samhita, broken it into Padapada and created their own blockchain. So blockchain concept is not something new to the ancient India. The student who passes the exam for Jeta, he becomes a qualified Jeta party, and a person who passes the examination for Gana, he becomes a Gana party. This term you must have all heard of. But to become a Jada party or Gana party is not such an easy task. The curriculum that is adopted in the Padashalas and the type of studies and inquiry that a student has to make will take quite a number of years. That's what we will see in our next episode.